What's up guys, I'm Colin and welcome to the very first episode of the Amateur Hour Workshop. This is where we talk about equipment, props, and how to do film stuffs with your film things. Since this is our first real episode, I thought I'd take the time to start from, well, the beginning. Okay, so it's not a super original idea, but it seems about as good as any other place to start. Now you can go out right now on just about any other YouTube channel related to film or any kind of blog related to filmmaking, and you'll probably find this exact same list, or something very similar. But one thing they don't have is a suspiciously well-placed Jack Nicholson poster right under their green screen to help comment on whatever's up there. I don't know what's up there right now. Now one thing you're probably thinking to yourself right now is, why should I listen to this guy? Well, the good thing is you don't have to. There's tons of other resources out there, and you should definitely check out more than one source. I didn't exactly go to film school. I did a little bit of film study in college. I have other friends that work with me here that went to film school and some that didn't. So we have a pretty broad view on what works and what doesn't. We've worked on professional sets, commercial sets, on our own. I mean, we've pretty much done everything. We've been making films together since we were like 10. Yeah. Now the stuff I'm going to be talking about today isn't exactly new. These are a lot of my thoughts mixed with advice that I've gotten from other filmmakers and advice that I've read and watched videos on. It's just a bunch of stuff that all seems to be pretty universally true, mixed with some of my own experiences. But the main thing to remember is that if you've never done anything in film and are looking to get into it, this is a pretty good place to start. And even if you have, there's some good advice here too. So let's jump in. That's actually sort of bad advice, which means we're off to a great start. In the beginning, it's not so much about finding that one story as it is about making a bunch of little stories that kind of find your voice as a filmmaker.
Make a movie every week in Super 8 or high def, write every night, and every weekend shoot for 2 days.
Now a lot of your first films are probably going to be for you and your friends. In fact, they're probably going to be starring a lot of your friends because that's about all you've got.
I don't have friends, I got family.
Anyone that you can kind of pay off in Subway sandwiches or a $5.27 Bath & Body Works gift card. One of the biggest mistakes you can make when you're first starting is that you'll try and overdo it. You'll try and make an entire Hollywood blockbuster for $15. And that's probably not going to work, although there are a few people who found a way to make that a successful thing. Maybe it's just you and a friend talking in your living room, having a conversation, and that's the whole plot of the movie. It doesn't have to be anything crazy with action and explosions. You just need to figure out how to tell a story at this point. And since we're talking about the people who seem to hang around you and not entirely hate you, ideally, when you start making films, you don't want to be alone in it.
You want a group of like 4 or 5 people, someone who's ideally charismatic to be your lead actor, and then just smart, kind of interesting people to help you curate this thing.
They don't have to be able to tell you the history of German expressionist filmmaking or who won the Best Visual Effects Award in 1993. Really, they just need to be there. They need to be people that you can kind of rely on and who are willing to put in a little bit of effort to make your vision come true. There is one thing I don't hear very much in these kinds of videos, and that is support your friends as well. They're supporting you in your endeavors. You should probably support them too. Chances are they might actually want to be an actor or a screenwriter or something, I don't know, but as much as they support you, you have to support them too. Don't be a selfish jerk. And speaking of you alone in a room making a movie, there are going to be times when you won't have those people. It may just be you and one actor in a room making an entire movie by yourselves. And as you start making your first film and a few others, you're going to start to realize something very, very important. Making films is super hard. If you give up on a project you're supposedly truly passionate about, then maybe filmmaking isn't for you, and that's okay. That's why you're doing it on a $10 budget as opposed to a $20,000 budget right now. You're just trying to figure out if it's something you're actually interested in or not, and if you really want to pursue learning more about it. Because a lot of filmmaking comes down to you. Are you determined? Do you have enough drive? Are you willing to sit down and actually make these films even when everything is going wrong around you? Are you willing to actually sit down and watch films and break them apart and do some research and read about film theory? I'm not saying you have to do all that right off the bat, But it's important to know that this is a commitment. You are going to have challenges, and there are going to be some hard ones that you'll have to find some creative ways to overcome. But we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves, because none of that planning and research and getting people together even matters if you don't follow this one important, cannot break rule of making a film. There's no excuse not to get out there and start making your film anymore. With digital cameras being super accessible and cheap, you can pretty much pick up anything, including your phone, and start making your short film right now.
We're in a place now, obviously, where technology is so cheap, there's no excuse for you not to be making short films on the weekends with your friends, shot on your iPhone. We had a feature film at Sundance this past year, called Tangerine, that was shot entirely on an iPhone.
And that's not just me talking. Pretty much any director, actor, writer, or anyone even remotely related to the film industry is going to tell you the exact same thing, as highlighted by this hastily thrown together montage I made.
Make a movie. Start making movies.
You just start making movies. There is no other way.
Make films.
Grab a camera, grab an iPhone, grab anything and just go out and start shooting.
Make a film.
Fun, do it.
Do it!
Make movies.
Make your movie.
Get in, go and do it.
Just get the camera and shoot.
Do it. Make something. Don't wait. You don't have to move to Hollywood. You don't have to get an agent. You don't have to, you don't have to get the golden phone call.
Make
a stew.
Oh, I don't know what else to say.
When you're starting out, the most important thing that you have to do is actually make your film. Your first film doesn't have to look good. In fact, it probably won't even be very good. And if it is, then that's a bonus for you, but most people's pretty much suck right off the bat. And that's okay, because the only thing that your first film has to do is exist. You will learn more from getting out there and making 50 terrible films than you will not making any at all. Plus, you get the added benefit of actually getting out there and doing something, which puts you way ahead of all the other people who say they're going to do it and then never actually do. But now you've done it. You've gone out and you've made your first film, and it's just time to sit back and wait for all that sweet, sweet Hollywood money to just come rolling in. Except that's not even close, and there's like 10 more things you gotta do. So here's the kicker about making movies. If you don't actually show them to anybody, nobody's going to see them. And that's kind of the whole point of movies. And if you don't understand that concept, I don't think I can help you at all. And showing your work off is kind of terrifying. You should probably start with some family members and friends, because they're going to be honest with you. They know you, they're going to give you that feedback that you need to push yourself forward a little bit and actually put your work out there. Now, you'll probably start with YouTube or Vimeo. You're not going to be putting this in a theater somewhere.
You want the work to be seen, but it doesn't have to be at the Odeon. No more. That's all different. That's another ancient world.
But putting your work out there is pretty scary. The first short film that I ever really put out there for anybody was on YouTube and on Reddit, and the very first comment I ever got on it was this. And I was kind of crushed. I mean, I knew that it was just a stupid short comedy sketch that we made, but it was something that I made and my friends made. And we had to shoot it twice because something went wrong the first time. And we had to do 36 takes on the last scene because I didn't want to get a strike against us on YouTube for nudity, and you're probably just going to have to watch it to see what I'm talking about. But I quickly realized that it was okay that this random internet stranger didn't like my video. And they weren't wrong. It probably just wasn't their cup of tea, and that's fine. Not everybody's going to like your work. In fact, some people are probably going to hate your work. But there are other people out there who think like you, like the same kinds of things you do, and you will eventually find them if you keep trying and keep improving yourself.
But I think the important thing is, if you're just starting out, is that you should not be put off by failing. You will make mistakes. And that's the thing that some people, when they want to get into the industry, they get immediately downhearted by how tough it is. And the important thing is to be incredibly tenacious.
And admittedly, there were a lot of problems with our first project. The audio was terrible, the lighting wasn't even there because it was just shot for nothing with no lighting equipment. But that was okay. We were just testing things out and seeing what we could do and having fun with it. You're going to try new things, and many of them won't work. That's a good thing, because you're going to get a lot of valuable information back on why they didn't and what did work. To be honest, it's a miracle that films even get made. There's so many moving parts out there that even if it does get made and it's total garbage, everybody involved should be a bit proud of themselves because they actually made a film. That being said, though, don't be super content with your first efforts either. You have to learn how to be your harshest critic and your best friend. Tear your work apart, but then lift yourself back up and move on to the next short film. Push yourself forward like a good mentor in any worthwhile 80s movie.
Close your eyes.
So that brings us to the secret step number 6. Now this isn't just a secret step because I only put the number 5 in the title, but because a lot of people forget how important this next step is. Now that you've been openly criticized on the internet and realize how much work you're going to have to do to improve yourself, you have to get back out there and do it again. And then just keep repeating that cycle, learning from every failure and every victory that you encounter. There's an old saying that practice makes perfect, but I think a better version of that is good practice makes perfect, or smart practice makes perfect. You're not going to learn everything you need to know about making films by just making one film. It's going to take a lot of different attempts. You're going to have to look at your work and other people's work and really see and study what you're trying to do. Read books, go on websites, watch videos, subscribe to this channel. Now obviously there's a lot more to filmmaking than I talked about today, and there's a lot that you're going to learn just by doing. Chances are we'll probably make another video highlighting all the ways that you can improve yourself as a filmmaker as well. The important lesson to take away from all this though is that no matter if you're working on a $100 million budget or a $10 budget, or you're filming with a red camera or just your phone, the heart of every movie is just some people, a camera, and a passion for telling stories. And remember to have fun doing this, because as much work as making a film is, it's also a lot of fun. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and share this video and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget that on July 1st, our film resource website will be launching, and shortly after that, we'll be starting up our own film contest for you guys to enter and win cool stuff. But that's all I've got, so I'm just gonna step out here. So